If you're thinking about moving to Colorado, there's a good chance you're feeling both excited and overwhelmed at the same time. You've probably heard about the mountains, the sunshine, and the outdoor lifestyle, but what most people don't talk about is what it's actually like to live here day to day. Things like where people really choose to live, how far your money actually goes, what surprises out-of-state buyers the most, and how to avoid the mistakes I see new residents make all the time. Hey, what's going on? I'm Brian McKinnon with Move Me to Colorado. I'm a local Northern Colorado real estate agent, and my team and I specialize in helping people just like you from all across the country relocate right here to Northern Colorado. So before we even talk about homes or cities, there's something more important to get clear on first, and that is why you're moving to Colorado in the first place. Because Colorado is not one single lifestyle. Some people move here for outdoor access. Some move here for job opportunities. Some want a slower pace of life. Some come here for better weather and four seasons. Some people just want to change, or they move here for affordability. But what I've learned over time is this: if you move here just because Colorado is popular, there's a good chance you're going to be disappointed. Northern Colorado in particular tends to attract professionals leaving big cities, families looking for space and safety and affordability, and remote workers wanting a lifestyle without Denver's congestion. So being honest about what you're trying to improve in your life is huge, because Colorado will either amplify that or expose it. Now, once you are clear on why you're moving, the next big question becomes what part of Colorado actually makes sense for you. Because most out-of-state buyers think Colorado equals Denver, but Northern Colorado is its own region entirely with its own feel, pace, and trade-offs. When people say Northern Colorado, they're usually talking about Fort Collins, Loveland, Windsor, Greeley, Longmont, and the surrounding communities. And here's the big difference compared to Denver. You get less congestion, easier access to outdoor recreation, lower housing costs relatively speaking, more of a community feel, and shorter commutes. But the trade-off is fewer big city amenities, less nightlife, and a more suburban lifestyle. So Northern Colorado tends to be ideal for people who want a lifestyle upgrade without the chaos of a major metro area. Now, once you decide if Northern Colorado feels right, this is usually where your expectations can start to drift a little. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see out-of-state buyers make is choosing a city purely based on its price. Every city up here feels very different. Each one is unique. Fort Collins tends to feel more vibrant and active with CSU, breweries, and its walkability. Loveland feels more laid back and residential with a very strong art scene. Windsor is newer, very family focused, and more master planned with amenity-based neighborhoods. Greeley is often the most affordable entry point and is changing quickly. And Longmont feels a little more urban, closer to Boulder with the growing tech presence. So there is no best city, only what fits your lifestyle and priorities. And this is exactly why when I'm working with people relocating, especially from out of state, a lot of them will actually come here on what we call a discovery trip. The goal isn't to look at a bunch of houses, it's to experience the areas, driving the streets, sitting in the neighborhoods, seeing how long errands take, feeling the pace of life in different cities. Because buying a home based only on photos and Google Maps is one of the fastest ways to end up in a place that looks right on paper, but it doesn't feel right day to day. If this breakdown is helpful, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I cover the step-by-step relocation decisions you need to get right in Northern Colorado, what to expect, what to avoid, and how to choose a location that actually fits. I do this every single week, so make sure you're subscribed. Now let's talk about something that almost everyone underestimates when they're planning a move, and that's the true cost of living beyond just the house price. Most people look at the purchase price of the home when they're relocating, but your real cost of living includes property taxes, utilities, transportation, insurance, and your everyday lifestyle expenses. Here are a few things that tend to surprise people when moving to northern Colorado. Utilities can fluctuate a lot because of climate swings and seasonal changes. Heating in the winter and cooling in the summer adds up. Colorado does have relatively low property taxes compared to many other states, which does help. Insurance has gone up, especially in areas impacted by wildfire risk and hail. And compared to Denver and Boulder, northern Colorado usually gives you more space for your money, especially in places like Greeley, West Loveland, and parts of Longmont. But pricing still varies a lot by neighborhood. So while housing might feel more affordable compared to where you're coming from, your monthly budget really needs to reflect the full picture. And that brings us to something even more important than cost. What daily life here actually feels like. Now, this is where most relocation information out there misses the mark because they only show highlights, not reality. And one thing I've noticed over time working with people who move here from all over the country is that the people who end up happiest aren't the ones who found the perfect house. They're the ones who chose the right location and lifestyle first and then found a home that fit into that. Here you get a lot of sunshine, clean air, easy access to trails and open space, and a strong community feel. It's generally less stressful than living in a big city. A lot of social life here revolves around breweries in Fort Collins and Loveland. Youth sports are very popular throughout the entire region, and you get incredible outdoor access along the Front Range. It's much more community centered than nightlife centered. But there are trade-offs too. Winters are real. Nightlife is limited compared to Denver, and you will drive more than you probably expect. Even though traffic is lighter than Denver, commute patterns still matter, especially if you're working in one city and living in another. So, for example, Fort Collins to Longmont or Windsor to Boulder can feel very different at 8 a.m. than it does on a weekend. And one thing people really don't expect here is the wind, especially in places like Windsor, Greeley, and East Loveland. Now, it's not a deal breaker, it's just part of our weather here. Now, once people get a feel for daily life, the next thing they usually ask is, when is the right time to move? And timing matters more than most people think. Summer is going to give you more inventory to look at, but also more competition. Fall brings better negotiating power. Winter often brings the best deals, but with fewer choices. The right time depends more on your flexibility, your budget, and your urgency more than anything else. And right about here is where another big question comes up. Should you rent first or buy right away? And the honest answer is, it depends. Renting first makes sense if you want flexibility, haven't visited yet, or aren't fully sure on location. Buying right away can make sense if you're confident in your plan and you're also financially prepared for ownership. There's no right or wrong answer here, only what reduces your risk and what you feel most comfortable with. Now, I want to save you from a few mistakes I see all the time with out-of-state buyers. Choosing a city without visiting or coming here on a discovery trip. Buying based only on photos. Underestimating our weather and altitude and cost of living. Ignoring commute patterns and traffic. Over-prioritizing house size over location and assuming Colorado is the same everywhere. Location success is about fit, not just about finding a house. So when you put all of this together, northern Colorado isn't about one single thing. It's about how all of these pieces fit together in your everyday life. And none of this is good or bad on its own. It just depends on what kind of lifestyle you're actually looking for. Northern Colorado is not for everyone, and that's a good thing. But if you are looking for a balanced lifestyle, room to breathe, strong communities, and a place to build a long-term life, this area deserves serious consideration. And the way to get this right is not rushing, understanding the trade-offs before you commit, and when you do commit, having a plan. So if you are planning a move to Colorado or even considering it, my team and I would love to help. You'll find our contact information in the pinned comment directly below this video. And make sure to watch this video next for more in-depth information on what it's really like to live here in the Northern Colorado area.